My bicycle world tour, which started in the US in 2011, after safely completing 6 continents, I arrived in Korea, the final destination of my journey. Autumn in Gangwon Province, winter in Gyeongsang Province, spring in Jeju Island, end of June back to mainland. Since my journey started on September 1st, I wanted to end it on September 1st as well. For that, I have to hurry to check the left province, including Dokdo, furthest point in Korean East Sea. I pitched my tent by the sea in a quiet village. A local resident came out and we chat. Conversation like this give me a sense that this village is a safe place. Cooking in a quiet place gave me fun of camping on the trip. The southernmost village was quite steep, but it was fun to explore. The sun began to set and I wasn't sure where I would to sleep tonight. There's a line in my favorite Korean novel, "Never wander on familiar road at sunset." The thought that my fears like this would soon end made me strangely emotional. Unable to decide where to sleep, I checked the map and found a park. It was actually a village hall and they kindly allowed me to stay. There was a public restroom open 24 hours. The next morning, I saw beautiful traditional Korean houses. I went to Jindo, which was nearly deserted. It was quietest place I did visit in Korea. Not many cars means very safe for cycling. I often came across peaceful pavilion, perfect spot for the rest. I heard a strange sound at night, so I opened my tent with courage. I saw 2 wild boars strolling peacefully. The next morning, as I packed up my tent, I witnessed an accident. No one injured though, but it was scary to see a car completely burn in less than 15 minutes. Originally, I planned to visit the island around, but a friend invited me to a small village, so I decided to go there. The weather was unbearably hot, and I found a cool spray mist fan. Korea surprised me with something new often. I arrived at a charming place called Garchi Village. The person I cycled with for a few days in Jeju Island was going to visit here, so I came to meet her and see countryside. There was a pottery workshop and many young people gathered here. It was a very unique place and I had a different experiences. I learned people will come even in the countryside if a good space is created. I got a small dream that I can provide this kind of space for people as well. I went to some concert with them. After it, we went to a restaurant and I ate fermented skate, which is known for disgusting smelly food, but it was okay to me. I ate durian in Southeast Asia and sticky tofu in Taiwan. Maybe I could travel for this long because I can eat anything. The only food I had a hard time eating was the bat at the South Pacific. The smell continued to rise inside of me the next morning even, and it was hard. After having a farewell to them, I headed to the next city. Jeonju traditional village is cute and there are places to rest often. I feel the importance of space once again. Since I came to Jeonju, I also tried Jeonju bibimbap. When I look at the map, I saw Saemangum. We learned about Saemangum recrimination project at school a lot, so I wanted to check. The weather has been so hot these days that I buy ice cream every day. Korean ice cream only costs 600 won, so it seems really cheap. Everything else have gone up, but ice cream has stayed the same, which is nice. It looked a great place for a road bike for practicing, but it was a bit boring as a traveler. The wind made it hard to ride a bike. The next day, it rained heavily. When it rained heavily, I waited for the rain to stop for a bit. Rain continued that I had no choice but to keep riding. A bicycle trip only goes as far as I pedal. Even if I feel cold, hungry, and tired, I have to pedal to escape the situation. Cycling trip is cruel but honest. I can never escape if I stay still. I can't believe this is coming to an end soon. These days, I keep thinking that my 12 years world trip is coming to an end. I couldn't move because of too heavy rain after entering a city. I wonder how I traveled in all kind of bad conditions for past 12 years. I thought that I don't need to shiver in a city I didn't know soon. But actually, I will miss it. It's weird. Running around the kites, the campus was so pretty that it was fun to look around. I will run Berlin Marathon at the end of September, so I've been practicing. It was fun to see new places while running in each region. I arrived in Jeju City and had a huge culture shock. Most future-oriented and sophisticated city in Korea. It was so hot in late July that I had a hard time cycling. I had a headache and was sweating endlessly. But when the wind blew, I suddenly felt cold weirdly. Sports drink and convenience store helped to cool down. I got on my bike again at late afternoon. I feel that I wouldn't not see the sunset from the road soon anymore. It's not easy to end something that I've been doing for 13 years in an instant. I'm going to hurry up as I need to end my trip soon. I've been to the metropolitan area by bus several times to visit family since I came back. But this was my first time entering by bike, so I was nervous. There are definitely more cars and the roads, so more complicated to cycle. I entered Songtan, where I lived when I was 7. It was amazing to see that the place that used to be a countryside has become the world's largest semiconductor factory area with new apartments. Surprisingly, the apartment I lived in was still the same. Building that I went up to every day as a child, like slide, was still there, so I was lost in my memories. After back to Korea, it was fun to see the new cities. That's why I deliberately chose the new cities. New city is clean, but not many people on the streets, so it feels lonely. While the old city has narrow and dirty streets, but I can feel vibe and energy of people. As you're thinking about where to settle down in Korea, it was fun to explore different cities. I finally arrived at Anyang, where I lived from 10 years old. Since my house had moved to a different place, it was my first time coming back. And this familiar place. I came back to Korea for the first time after 12 years, but I didn't really feel like, oh, I'm finally back to Korea. But I realized that it was because I was in an unfamiliar place. The moment I entered here, I realized that I'm safely back home. I was so excited for a moment, but when I entered the city center, I was incredibly disappointed. There are many clean cities outside the metropolitan area. So I was shocked at how a metropolitan city could be so underdeveloped. I even thought about settling down here where I used to live, but now I don't feel. I also visit the subway, which I took every day before. Anyang is my hometown anyway, so it's nice to see. I also visited the apartment where I used to live and school. When I checked the map, I realized it was only 2 kilometers far away from old house to school. At the time, it felt so far away. But after traveling the world, 2 kilometers seems so close. After that, I went to very nice new city, but there are many people on the street, so it feels strange. The park was well maintained, so it was good for marathon practice. It was so hot that even when I woke up at 5 a.m., I sweated so much that I couldn't run for long. Finally, entering Seoul. This is Seoul. Some Koreans say that Seoul has nothing to see, but I think it is because they are used to it. When I lived in Korea, I also thought like that. But after 12 years from overseas, Seoul is dazzling. Many things to see and visit and many cultural spaces, and it's a city where various people and many foreigners meet. After returning to Korea, my mouth dropped open every time I visit Seoul. I worried where to settle down while cycling in Korea for a year, but my mind has finally made up. Answer is Seoul. But since I don't have money, I should stay around the metropolitan area. I'll be alright. I have to believe it. I feel relaxed now as I cycle in a quiet area. It is so hot in mid-August that I have a hard time cycling. It's nice to go down to the stream. I was wondering how to end my world tour. Then I decided to have a DMZ Peace Bicycle Tour group ride. My goal is to see Dokdo before it, but not sure it's possible. I had to keep riding with a heat wave warning every day. It's my first time hosting a group bike ride. I had to prepare by myself, so there was so much to do. I also had to talk and prepared for the marathon race, so I only got 3 to 4 hours of sleep. It was the last week of my solo bike world tour, but I didn't have time to get lost in the emotions. When I arrived in a mountain area, it was nice that the heat had erased a bit. When I was a kid, this place was the most dangerous and highest mountain in the world. But after traveling the world, I felt this is nothing, but still somehow amazing. Downhill was so wide that it was really fun. It wasn't easy to go to Dokdo. I had to be ready for the DMZ Peace Bike Tour within 4 days, but I was nervous because the boat was cancelled. Fortunately, I boarded on the next day ship. I arrived at Ulleungdo around 12 o'clock, but I only had this afternoon to tour. I had to see Dokdo next day and leave right away. First of all, I looked for the restaurant to have lunch. I felt that Ulleungdo preserved the most Korean atmospheres. I ate local cuisine tekkebi kalguksu, which was delicious. You can only travel by taxi or rent a car here. Sometimes you can make things possible. I got a map and look at the bus timetable to check how I can make it. I didn't know that Ulleungdo is mountainous. I've never seen such a sharp curves in a tunnel. There are so many tunnels in small island. I would have died if I had come here by bicycle. I was falling in love with here for its Korean atmosphere, beautiful nature, and delicious food. I end the day by hoping that I can see Dokdo tomorrow morning. For me, today is the only day I can see Dokdo. We can only know if we could dock if we go nearby there. When I started traveling the world, I made a dream that if I cycle across 6 continents safely, I would come home by land. But even after 13 years, it was impossible. I had a hard time because of this at the end. I was greatly comforted by Soyoung's Arilang Alone music. Listening to lyrics, if we take a boat from Baekdu to Halla, our heart will become one. I saw Baekdu and Hallasan both in my trip. I couldn't believe that I'm nearby Dokdo, which I only heard from her song. We still don't know if we can dock. When I looked to the right, I saw Dokdo Coast Guard saluting. I was so moved that I was speechless. Dokdo is a land that farthest from Korea in East Sea. Now, I saw everything which I heard from Arilang Alone song. The water in Dokdo was truly clear and beautiful. I sincerely thank the Coast Guard who work hard to protect Dokdo in such a harsh place. It seems it's time to mark the final chapter of my world journey. As soon as I return, I'll head to the mainland.